close your eyes for a moment and listen carefully. You are standing at the doorway of infinite possibility. The life you desire, the miracles you seek are not far from you. They are already here, waiting for your recognition. But here is the key. Nothing will change in your world until you change your inner state. You must act as if you are already the person who receives miracles effortlessly. Not tomorrow, not in the distant future, but now. Step into the version of yourself who already lives in abundance, who already walks in divine favor, who already holds in their hands the blessings they once wished for. How does this person think? How do they feel? How do they move through life? They are not begging, hoping, or doubting. They are walking in certainty, knowing that what they desire is already theirs. They radiate confidence. They are unshaken by circumstances, for they know that external reality bends to the force of their assumption. You are a magnet to miracles. The moment you believe you are, the energy you send out is the energy that returns to you. If you dwell in lack, in fear, in uncertainty, you will draw more of the same. But the moment you shift, when you feel abundance within, when you act as if you already have what you seek, the universe has no choice but to deliver it to you. Do not chase, do not beg, do not struggle. Instead, rest in the knowing that it is done. Walk with gratitude as if you are merely waiting for reality to catch up with what is already true in your imagination, because that is exactly how it works. Your only task is to hold firm in the unseen reality, to refuse to waver, to refuse to entertain doubt. When you persist in the feeling of having, the seen world must bow to the unseen. What was once invisible will become tangible. So today, rise with confidence, step into your power, carry yourself as the one who effortlessly attracts miracles, because the truth is, you already do. Everything you see, everything you experience is a direct reflection of your inner world. The reality you call life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, dictate the shape of your world. Nothing exists outside of you that did not first take form within you. The moment you grasp this truth, you unlock the power to transform your life entirely. Look around you. The circumstances, the people, the opportunities, or the lack thereof. Each one is a manifestation of the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world. If you believe the world is unfair, it will show you unfairness. If you believe you are always struggling, struggle will follow you. But if you assume that life flows effortlessly in your favor, it must do so. There is no escape from this law, and once you truly understand it, you will see that you have been creating your life all along, whether you realized it or not. Many people believe they are at the mercy of external forces, that their success or failure depends on luck, effort, or circumstances beyond their control. But this is not true. Reality does not shape you, you shape reality. The assumptions you hold deep in your subconscious are constantly being reflected back to you. If you assume that people are kind and generous, you will meet kind and generous people. If you assume that money is difficult to come by, you will always find yourself in situations where financial struggle is present. It is not the world acting against you. It is simply responding to what you believe. The moment you decide to assume differently, to consciously shift your inner world, everything around you begins to change. The process is simple but requires unwavering faith. You must assume that you are already living the life you desire, that what you seek is already yours. This is not about wishing or hoping, it is about knowing. It is about walking through life as if your dream is already a fact. Do not look to the outside world for confirmation first. The world is only a mirror, and mirrors do not change until you change what they are reflecting. Many people make the mistake of waiting for their circumstances to shift before they allow themselves to feel differently. They wait for money to appear before they feel wealthy. They wait for love to arrive before they feel love. But this is working against the law of assumption. You must feel it first, embody it first, and only then will it appear in your experience. If you assume you are successful, success will find you. If you assume you are loved, love will appear in your life in ways you never expected. There is no effort required, no force needed. Reality has no choice but to reflect what you persistently assume to be true. It is the law, and it works every single time. Doubt is the only thing that can delay the process. If you assume something in one moment, but then allow fear and uncertainty to creep in, you are undoing your own creation. This is why persistence is key. You must remain in the state of your assumption, refusing to waver, refusing to react to the old reality that may still be lingering for a short while. Imagine yourself already living in your desired state. Feel the emotions, see the details. Live in that world mentally until it feels as natural as your current circumstances. And then, simply continue living from that place, knowing that the external world must conform. There is no need to struggle, no need to force things to happen. Just assume it, believe it, and persist in it. The world is your mirror, and when you change within, everything outside must follow. There is a vast difference between wanting something and knowing it is already yours. Most people spend their lives in a state of longing, hoping, and wishing. Yet they do not realize that by doing so, they are reinforcing the very absence of what they desire. To attract miracles, you must move beyond the feeling of wanting and step into the feeling of already having. This is the key that unlocks everything. Desire is natural, but when it is accompanied by desperation, doubt, or a sense of lack, it only pushes what you want further away. You cannot be in a state of need and a state of receiving at the same time. The moment you declare, "I need this," you are affirming that you do not have it. And if you do not have it internally, the external world cannot bring it to you. The universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to your state of being. Shift your awareness. Instead of feeling the lack of your desire, feel the fulfillment of it. Close your eyes and imagine that what you seek has already manifested. How do you feel? What emotions rise within you? Relief, excitement, gratitude? These feelings are the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. The more you dwell in them, the more you align yourself with the reality where your desire is already a fact. This is not about pretending, it is about knowing. When you truly feel something is real, your mind and body accept it as truth. You no longer chase, no longer worry, no longer question. You simply rest in the certainty that it is done. And in that state of certainty, unseen forces begin to move. Doors open where there were none before. Circumstances shift. People appear at the right time. Everything aligns effortlessly, not because you forced it, but because you became a match to it. Look at your own life. Think of times when things came to you easily, without struggle. Chances are, in those moments, you were not worrying about how they would happen. You simply assumed they would. Maybe you expected a call and it came. Maybe you needed an opportunity and it appeared just in time. These moments were not coincidences. They were proof of the power of assumption and feeling. On the other hand, think of the things you have chased desperately, the ones you felt you needed the most, the ones you constantly worried about. Did they come easily? Or did they seem to slip further away the more you wanted them? This is because neediness creates resistance. The energy of lack repels the very thing you seek. To truly receive, you must relax into the knowing that it is already yours. Carry yourself as if your wish has already been granted. Let your thoughts, your actions, your emotions reflect that inner conviction. If you were already wealthy, how would you feel? If you were already loved, how would you move through the world? Begin embodying that version of yourself now, and reality will rearrange itself to match. Miracles do not come to those who beg for them. They come to those who expect them. There is nothing you need to force, nothing you need to chase. Your only task is to assume the feeling of already having. The moment you shift into that state, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. What was once unseen becomes visible. What was once a dream becomes reality. It is not a matter of if. It is only a matter of time. The greatest obstacle to receiving your miracle is the need to control how it will unfold. Most people, once they set a desire in motion, immediately shift into a state of worry, questioning every detail. When will it happen? How will it happen? Who will make it happen? They analyze, strategize, and try to manipulate circumstances, believing that their intervention is necessary. But in doing so, they unknowingly create resistance, pushing their desire further away. The mind, conditioned to seek certainty, clings to the idea that it must know every step before trusting the outcome. But this very need for control is what delays the manifestation. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust the process. You water it, give it sunlight, and let nature take its course. You do not micromanage how the roots form or how the leaves will unfold. You simply know that growth is happening beneath the surface. The same principle applies to your desires. The moment you assume it is already yours, the process has begun. Your only task is to remain in the state of already receiving, rather than slipping into the mindset of waiting. Waiting implies separation. It suggests that what you desire is somewhere in the future, just out of reach. But the truth is, your miracle exists now. It is simply in an unseen form. The more you align with the feeling of already having it, the more quickly it materializes in your world. The moment you step into doubt, fear, or impatience, you signal to the universe that you do not truly believe in the reality of your desire, and thus you delay its arrival. Many people ask, but what if I do nothing? Won't I miss my opportunity? They misunderstand the process. Detachment from the how does not mean inaction. It means inspired action. When you are truly living in the state of already receiving, the right steps will naturally present themselves. You will feel nudged in certain directions, meet the right people, or suddenly have an idea that propels you forward. This is not the same as forcing or chasing. It is effortless alignment. Think back to moments in your life when something worked out perfectly without you even trying. Perhaps you were thinking about someone and they called. Perhaps you needed an answer and it appeared in an unexpected way. These moments were not coincidences. They were proof that when you release control, the universe orchestrates the details in ways far greater than you could have planned. If you try to dictate the how, you limit infinite possibilities to only what your logical mind can conceive. But what if the universe has a better, faster, more effortless way? What if the person you believe is essential to your success is not actually the one meant to bring it to you? What if the money you seek is destined to arrive through a completely unexpected avenue? When you insist on one specific path, you block all others. But when you surrender the how and trust that it is already done, you open the floodgates for miracles to unfold in ways beyond your imagination. Detach from the need to know. Let go of timelines. Stop checking for signs. Simply live as though your desire has already manifested. Feel the gratitude, the peace, the joy of already receiving. Move through your day with the quiet confidence that it is happening even if you cannot yet see it. And then, when you least expect it, the unseen will become seen. The miracle you once hoped for will simply be a natural part of your reality. Not because you chased it, but because you allowed it. The secret to manifesting anything you desire lies in one simple truth. You must live in the end. You must assume the feeling of already having what you seek, embodying the reality you wish to experience. Most people make the mistake of living in the present circumstances and reacting to them, rather than assuming the state of their fulfilled desire. They look at what is, and because they see lack, they continue to reinforce it. But reality is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state, and the moment you persist in the conviction that your desire is already yours, the world must rearrange itself to match that assumption. Living in the end is not about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is about complete inner conviction. It is walking, talking, and thinking as though what you seek has already happened. When you shift into this state, you are no longer waiting, hoping, or wondering if it will come. You know it is done. And when you know something to be true, you act differently. You carry yourself with certainty. You no longer seek external validation because you are no longer questioning whether it will manifest. You are simply waiting for reality to catch up. Imagine for a moment that your desire has already come to pass. How would you feel? How would you think? How would you move through the world? If you were already in your dream relationship, would you still feel lonely? If you were already financially abundant, would you still worry about bills? If you were already successful, would you doubt yourself? No, you would feel at peace, fulfilled, and secure. That feeling is what you must step into now, before any physical evidence appears. Most people believe they must first see results before they can feel the reality of their desires. But this is an illusion. The truth is, the moment you shift internally, the external world follows. If you persist in your assumption, reality has no choice but to reflect it. This is not wishful thinking, it is a fundamental law. Just as a mirror cannot show you a different reflection until you change your expression, life cannot present you with a new reality until you change your internal state. Many people say, "But I don't see any evidence. How can I believe something that isn't here yet?" That is precisely why they remain stuck, because they are waiting for the world to convince them instead of convincing themselves first. The key is to stop looking at the external world for confirmation and instead trust the power of your own imagination. If you can experience it inwardly, it must materialize outwardly. Think of an actor playing a role. The more deeply they embody the character, the more convincingly they become it. They do not hesitate, second guess, or break character. They fully step into the role. You must do the same with your desires. Step into the role of the person who already has what they seek. Move through the world as if it is already done. If you persist, soon enough, the illusion of separation will dissolve, and what was once just a thought will become your tangible reality. Doubt and fear may arise, but they are only remnants of the old self, the old story. Do not give them power. Remind yourself that the external world is only a reflection of past assumptions, and your new state will soon replace it. Be unwavering in your conviction. Let every thought, every action, every feeling align with the reality you desire. And as you remain steadfast in living, in the end, your world will shape itself around your belief. It is only a matter of time before you open your eyes and realize that what once existed only in your imagination is now the undeniable truth of your life. What you see in front of you is not the truth. It is only a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, and past assumptions. The external world is not fixed, nor is it an independent force dictating your life. It is a mirror shaped entirely by the state of your inner being. If you allow the present moment to define what is possible, you will continue to recreate the same experiences over and over again. But if you dare to ignore what is in front of you and instead persist in the unseen reality of your choosing, the world must bend to match your conviction. Most people live reactively. They see their circumstances and assume they have no choice but to accept them. If they are struggling financially, they feel lack and believe that lack must continue. If they are alone, they feel loneliness and assume love is far away. But what they fail to understand is that these conditions persist only because they continue to accept them as real. The moment they withdraw their attention from what is and shift their focus to what will be, reality begins to shift. Ignoring the current reality does not mean denying its existence. It means refusing to be bound by it. It means understanding that what you see now is nothing more than an echo of past assumptions. The job you dislike, the relationship you lack, the limitations you perceive, these are not permanent, nor are they an accurate reflection of what is possible for you. They are simply manifestations of old thoughts, old beliefs, and old emotional states. The moment you stop feeding them with your attention, they begin to dissolve, making way for something new. Many people struggle with this concept because they believe that what they see is more real than what they imagine. They trust in the physical world more than they trust in the power of their own mind. But the truth is, everything you now experience was once unseen. Every building you walk into, every piece of technology you use, every breakthrough in human history, it all began as an idea, an unseen reality that someone dared to believe in. If those visionaries had only accepted the current reality, nothing new would have ever come into existence. You must become just as bold in your own life. You must be willing to see beyond appearances, beyond limitations, beyond temporary conditions. The key is to persist in the unseen reality until it becomes seen. If you want wealth, you must assume the state of abundance, even while your bank account says otherwise. If you want love, you must carry the feeling of being deeply cherished even while you are alone. If you want success, you must embody the confidence and certainty of someone who has already achieved it. This is not delusion, it is creation. Most people give up too soon. They look around, see no evidence of change, and assume their desires are not working. They waver, they doubt, and in doing so, they return to the same state that created their current circumstances. But those who persist, those who refuse to be swayed by the outer world, are the ones who witness miracles. They know that the unseen is more real than the seen, and because of this, they do not need immediate proof. They trust the process. They understand that the physical world takes time to reflect inner change, just as a seed takes time to break through the soil. The greatest power you have is the ability to direct your focus. If you continue to observe and react to what is, you will remain stuck in it. But if you choose instead to dwell in the unseen, to persist in the reality you desire, the world must rearrange itself to match your vision. This is an unbreakable law. What you focus on expands. What you believe in hardens into fact. Ignore the distractions of the present moment. See beyond them. Hold your vision unwaveringly, and soon what was once invisible will become undeniable. Gratitude is not just a polite expression of thanks. It is a force that aligns you with the very reality you seek to create. When you express gratitude as if your miracle has already arrived, you step into the state of having rather than the state of lack. Most people wait until they see their desires materialize before they feel grateful. But this is backward. The key to attracting more of what you want is to feel the gratitude now. Before any physical evidence appears, this shifts your inner state and changes the vibration you emit, drawing your desires to you with effortless precision. Imagine for a moment that the thing you have been longing for is already yours. The success, the wealth, the love, the healing, it has already happened. How would you feel? There would be no anxiety, no doubt, no hesitation. Instead, you would feel deep appreciation, a sense of peace, and an unshakable knowing that life is unfolding perfectly. That is the exact feeling you must cultivate in the present moment, regardless of what your senses tell you. The more you embody that feeling, the more quickly reality must rearrange itself to reflect your assumption. Gratitude is a magnet because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you constantly notice what is missing, you reinforce its absence. You tell the universe, I don't have this yet, and so it continues to be missing from your life. But when you choose to focus on what you already have, and even more powerfully on what you assume you already have, you send a different message. I am abundant. I am blessed. I have all that I need. And reality, being nothing more than a reflection of your inner state, must comply. The mind is conditioned to seek external proof before accepting something as true. But true manifestation requires the opposite. You must first believe it within, feel it as real, and then watch as the world catches up. Gratitude is the bridge that connects your current state to your desired reality. When you give thanks in advance, you affirm to yourself and to the universe that what you seek is already yours. You dissolve the energy of waiting, hoping, or striving. And instead, you step fully into the energy of having. Some may wonder, how can I be grateful for something I do not yet see? The answer is simple. Because the moment you assume something as real in your consciousness, it is already in motion. Just as a seed planted in the soil is already growing before it breaks the surface, your desires are already forming the moment you claim them as yours. You may not see them immediately, but they are there, unfolding in perfect timing. Gratitude acts as the water and sunlight that nourish the seed, accelerating its growth. If you want to attract miracles, practice gratitude as if they have already arrived. Wake up every morning and say, "Thank you for my success. Thank you for my health. Thank you for the love that surrounds me." Do not say it as a wish or a request. Say it as a statement of fact. Feel it in your body. Let your heart swell with appreciation. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. And soon your subconscious mind will accept it as reality. And once your mind accepts it, the external world must follow. This is not just theory, it is a law. You will always receive more of what you focus on. When you complain, dwell on problems, and feel frustrated about what is missing, you multiply those conditions. But when you shift to gratitude, when you see every moment as a blessing and every desire is already fulfilled, you unlock the flow of abundance. Miracles become your normal state, and life begins to unfold with effortless grace. Gratitude is not a reaction to what has already happened. It is the cause of what will happen next. Choose to live in the energy of having, and watch as the universe reflects it back to you in ways more wonderful than you could have ever imagined. Everything you desire is already within your reach. The key is not to chase, beg, or struggle, but to assume, feel, and embody the reality you seek. Your assumptions create your world, your emotions attract your experiences, and your unwavering faith shapes your destiny. When you act as if you are already a magnet to miracles, the universe has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. Let go of doubt, detach from the how, walk in the end result, ignore the distractions of the present moment, and most importantly, cultivate gratitude as if your blessings have already arrived. Because the moment you believe it to be so, it is so. You are the creator of your reality. Trust in the unseen, persist in your conviction, and watch as miracles unfold before your very eyes. Thank you. You were never meant to struggle for wealth. You were meant to claim it. The world has taught you to beg, to chase, to work tirelessly in search of riches. But I tell you, wealth is already yours. It has been yours from the moment you conceived it in your mind. If you would only close your eyes and dare to believe that you are already wealthy, the unseen forces of this world would move mountains to prove you right. The wealth you seek is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting for recognition, waiting for you to say, "It is mine." You do not beg for what is rightfully yours. The millionaire does not wake up doubting his millions. He does not check his bank account each morning to see if his wealth still exists. He walks in certainty. And because he does, the world reflects that certainty back to him. So I ask you, do you claim your millions? Do you walk in the knowing that wealth is already secured in your name? Or do you hesitate, waiting for proof? Let go of doubt. Stop searching for signs. You are the sign. When you declare millions are coming, the very fabric of reality shifts. Circumstances rearrange. The doors that were once closed begin to open. There is no force outside of you deciding whether you are worthy of wealth. You are the cause. Your belief shapes the world around you. If you see yourself as wealthy, your world must respond. Millions are coming and I claim them. Say it with the conviction of someone who already holds the check in their hands. Say it as if your name is already written on the documents of abundance. And then, walk as if it were done. Feel it. Live in the assumption that wealth is inevitable. Those who wait will always wait, but those who claim, they receive. Millions are not coming, millions are here. Claim them. Wealth is not something that exists outside of you waiting for you to find it. It is not something that a select few are destined to have while others remain in lack. Wealth is a state of consciousness. And until you recognize this truth, you will continue to search for it in vain. The great mistake of man is to believe that circumstances dictate his life, that external forces have control over his abundance. But I tell you, there is no power outside of you shaping your reality. You are the sole creator of your experience. Look around you. Everything you see was first conceived in the mind of someone who dared to believe it could exist. The wealth of the world did not simply appear by accident. It was brought into being by those who assumed themselves to be rich before the evidence appeared. They did not wait for proof. They did not hesitate, wondering if it was possible. They simply assumed the state of wealth, and the world conspired to reflect that assumption back to them. This is the secret that separates those who thrive from those who struggle. The ones who understand that they are the operant power, that their beliefs shape their reality, do not beg or chase wealth. They do not look to the economy, to their background, or to their current bank balance to determine what is possible for them. Instead, they look within and assume the state they desire to experience. And because they do, the outer world bends to match that assumption. There is nothing unfair about this. The law is impersonal. It does not favor one person over another. It simply reflects what you accept as true. If you believe wealth is difficult to obtain, it will be difficult. If you believe you must work tirelessly for it, then you will struggle. But if you believe that wealth is natural, effortless, and already yours, then it must come to you. It cannot be otherwise. Consider the nature of a seed. When you plant it in the ground, you do not stand over it, demanding that it grow. You do not doubt its ability to sprout. You simply plant it, knowing that in due time, it will push through the soil and become what it was always meant to be. Your consciousness is the soil and your assumptions are the seeds. Whatever you plant must take root and manifest in your world. The question then is not whether you can be wealthy. The question is whether you will claim it within. Will you assume the state of wealth even before the evidence appears? Will you dare to believe that you are rich now, even if your current reality suggests otherwise? This is the only work required of you, to change your inner state, to persist in the assumption that you are already the person you wish to be. Those who struggle believe they must first see results before they can feel wealthy. But that is not how the law works. You do not receive wealth and then believe you are rich. You believe you are rich and then wealth appears. This is why so many fail. They are waiting for proof, not realizing that proof only comes after assumption. When you assume the consciousness of wealth, the world will move in ways you cannot predict. Ideas will come to you. Opportunities will present themselves. People will enter your life who can help you. But none of this can happen if you persist in the consciousness of lack. If you continue to identify as someone who struggles, your world must reflect that struggle. There is no luck involved in this. No outside force is withholding wealth from you. You are either aligning yourself with abundance or pushing it away through your own beliefs. If you want to change your financial situation, you must first change how you see yourself. Stop seeing yourself as someone who wants wealth and start seeing yourself as someone who already has it. The moment you do, everything will begin to shift. You do not need to know how it will happen. That is not your concern. Your only task is to remain faithful to the assumption that it is already yours. The mind will try to convince you otherwise. It will point to your current circumstances and tell you that nothing has changed. But circumstances are merely a reflection of your past thoughts. They have no power over your future unless you continue to give them power. Of looking at what is, look at what could be. Walk in the knowing that you are already the person you wish to become. Speak as if you have already received. Feel the reality of wealth so deeply that it becomes more real to you than your present conditions. When you do, the world will have no choice but to conform. You are the operant power. There is nothing outside of you that determines your success or failure. The only question is, what will you assume to be true? If you assume yourself to be rich, wealth must follow. If you assume yourself to be lacking, then lack will persist. The power has always been in your hands. The moment you claim it, the moment you truly accept that wealth is already yours, everything will change. Your imagination is the most powerful force in your life. It is not a mere daydreaming tool, nor is it a place of idle fantasy. It is the blueprint of reality, the architect of everything you experience. The world you see around you is nothing more than a reflection of the ideas, beliefs, and assumptions you have accepted as true in your inner world. If you wish to change your life, you must first change what you believe to be true about yourself. Many people misunderstand this principle. They look at their external circumstances and believe that these conditions define them. They say, "I am poor because I have no money," or "I am struggling because my life has always been difficult." But this is an illusion. It is not the outer world that shapes your inner state. It is your inner state that shapes the outer world. If you continue to believe that wealth is something outside of you, something you must chase or work endlessly to achieve, then it will always remain just out of reach. To become wealthy, you must first see yourself as wealthy. You must accept it as a reality within, even before there is any physical evidence to support it. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. And you are nothing more than the sum of your assumptions. If you assume lack, lack will persist. If you assume abundance, abundance must follow. This is not wishful thinking, it is the very law that governs reality. Consider a person who is deeply in debt. If they continue to dwell on their debt, to worry about it, to identify as someone who is always struggling financially, then they are reinforcing the state of lack. Their imagination is consumed by thoughts of scarcity, and because their inner world accepts this as true, their outer world must reflect it. Even if they receive money, it quickly disappears, because their state of mind has not changed. They may think they want wealth, but in truth they are imagining lack. Consider another person who, despite their current financial situation, chooses to see themselves as wealthy. They close their eyes and imagine what it feels like to be financially free. They see themselves living in the home they desire, spending money effortlessly, giving freely without concern. They do not just visualize these things as something in the future. They assume it is happening now. They walk with the confidence of someone who already possesses wealth. And because they persist in this assumption, their outer world begins to change. Opportunities arise, doors open, and money flows into their life in unexpected ways. This is not magic, this is simply the way the world works. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It only accepts what you feed it. If you continuously impress upon it the idea of wealth, it must find a way to express that wealth in your reality. Circumstances will shift, people will come into your life, and situations will unfold in ways you could not have predicted. But all of it is simply a reflection of what you first accepted within. The mistake many people make is that they allow their imagination to be dictated by their current reality. They look at their empty bank account and say, "This is my truth." They allow their senses to convince them that they are limited. But your senses only show you the result of past thoughts and beliefs. If you wish to change what you see, you must first change what you imagine. Do not wait for physical proof before you believe in your wealth. Believe in it now. Accept it now. Assume it so fully in your mind that it feels more real than anything your senses tell you. If you persist in this state, the world has no choice but to conform. This is how all great successes are born. Every invention, every empire, every great fortune began as an idea in someone's imagination. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is simple. Successful people live in their imagination as if their dream is already real. They do not wish for wealth, they assume it. They do not long for success, they embody it. Your imagination is unlimited. It is not bound by time, space, or circumstances. If you can conceive of yourself as wealthy and truly believe it, then wealth must become your reality. You do not need to know how it will happen. That is not your concern. Your only task is to remain faithful to the assumption that you are already the person you desire to be. The world you live in is simply a mirror. It reflects back to you whatever you hold in your mind as true. If you see yourself as struggling, the mirror will show you struggle. If you see yourself as abundant, the mirror will show you abundance. This is not a theory, it is a law. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner you will step into the life that has always been waiting for you. Do not let the illusion of your current circumstances dictate your future. Your future is shaped by what you imagine now. So imagine wisely. See yourself as wealthy, feel it, believe it, and persist in that state. If you do, wealth will not be something you chase, it will be something that flows effortlessly to you. Everything in your world is a reflection of your inner state. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are constantly shaping the reality you experience. If you desire something, whether it be wealth, success, love, or happiness, you must first accept it as true within yourself. You must live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, embodying the state of already having what you desire. The world does not respond to your hopes or wishes, it responds to your assumptions. The moment you assume something is real, the outer world begins to move in accordance with that assumption. Many people wait for evidence before they believe in their desires. They say, I will feel successful when I see the money in my bank account, or I will feel loved when I meet the right person. But this is the opposite of how creation works. The external world is simply a mirror, reflecting back to you what you hold as true within. If you wait for circumstances to change before you allow yourself to feel differently, you will remain stuck. The key is to feel it now, to assume the reality of your desire in this very moment, without requiring any proof. Imagine for a moment that you have already received the wealth you desire. Close your eyes and place yourself in that reality. How do you feel? How do you walk? How do you carry yourself? What does your daily life look like when you know you are financially free? Let these feelings become so natural that they begin to define you. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever you persist in believing. If you consistently assume yourself to be wealthy, that assumption will harden into fact. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about shifting your consciousness to a new state of being. When you change how you feel internally, the external world must adjust to match that new state. You do not need to struggle, chase, or beg for wealth. Instead, you step into the role of the person who already has it. You think, speak, and act from the awareness that your millions are already here. Many people misunderstand this concept. They think they need to take massive action to bring their desires to life. They believe they must work harder, push more, or force circumstances to change. But action taken from a state of lack only reinforces lack. When you believe you must struggle to achieve wealth, you create more struggle. Instead of acting from a place of desperation, act from a place of fulfillment. Let your decisions come from the mindset of someone who already possesses everything they desire. When you truly live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the world rearranges itself to match your inner state. Unexpected opportunities arise, people come into your life at the right moment, and events unfold in ways you could not have predicted. But these things do not happen because you are forcing them to. They happen because your assumption has set them into motion. The unseen forces of the universe are always responding to your state of being. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your manifestation. If you continuously check for signs, wondering if your desire is coming, you are affirming that it is not here yet. This keeps you in a state of waiting rather than having. True faith means you do not need confirmation from the outside world. You know it is already done. You persist in the assumption that you are already wealthy, regardless of what your senses tell you. Think of the way a great actor steps into a role. They do not simply pretend to be the character, they become the character. They embody the emotions, thoughts, and behaviors of that person until it feels completely natural. You must do the same with your desired state. Step into the role of the wealthy person now. Think the way they think. Feel the way they feel. Trust that the world will mold itself around your new state of being. Some may say, but what if my circumstances do not change immediately? The answer is simple. Persist. Your current reality is merely the result of past thoughts and beliefs. If you hold firm to your new assumption, reality has no choice but to conform. It may take time for the physical world to catch up, but the moment you fully accept your new state within, the process has already begun. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a temporary exercise, it is a way of being. It is the recognition that you are the creator of your experience. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, you are the operant power. You decide what is real for you, and the world reflects that decision back to you. Stop waiting for signs, stop doubting, stop looking to the external world for validation. Assume the reality of your desire now and trust that everything else will fall into place. Walk with the confidence of someone who already has what they want. Speak with the assurance of someone who knows their success is inevitable. Move through life as if your millions are already here, and soon enough, they will be. The more you chase something, the more you affirm its absence. When you constantly look for wealth, success, love, or any other desire, you are unknowingly reinforcing the belief that you do not already possess it. This is why so many people struggle. They are always in a state of searching, hoping, and waiting, rather than assuming and claiming what is already theirs. The key to effortless manifestation is not to look for it, but to claim it as already done. Everything you seek is already within you. Your desires are not random, they are glimpses of what you are meant to experience. If you desire wealth, it is because wealth is a natural part of who you are. But instead of accepting this truth, many people operate from a mindset of lack. They see wealth as something outside of them, something they must pursue, work tirelessly for, and prove themselves worthy of. They chase money, opportunities, and validation, never realizing that by doing so, they are confessing to the universe that they do not have what they want. The world responds to your state of being. If you see yourself as someone who lacks money, opportunities, or success, that is exactly what will continue to manifest in your life. But if you shift your inner state to that of someone who already possesses what they desire, the outer world must align with that assumption. This is not wishful thinking, it is the fundamental law of creation. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Imagine two people walking through life. One is always looking for signs of wealth, constantly checking their bank account, anxiously hoping for opportunities and feeling frustrated when they do not appear. The other moves with the confidence of someone who already has everything they need. They are relaxed, assured, and unaffected by temporary appearances. Which one do you think will naturally draw wealth and success into their life? The answer is obvious. Those who chase wealth push it further away. Those who claim it from within allow it to flow effortlessly. Claiming something does not mean wishing for it or pretending. It means fully embodying the feeling of already having it. You must ask yourself, if I were already wealthy, how would I think? How would I feel? How would I act? Then you must begin living from that state now. Do not wait for proof. The proof will come after you have made the internal shift. Many people struggle with this concept because they are conditioned to believe in the physical world above all else. They think, how can I feel wealthy when my bank account says otherwise? But your current reality is simply a reflection of past beliefs and assumptions. If you continue to focus on what is, you will continue to create more of the same. The only way to change your circumstances is to change your inner state first. The moment you truly accept yourself as wealthy, the world will begin to shift in ways you cannot predict. You do not need to force anything. The most powerful manifestations happen effortlessly, not through struggle or desperation. When you stop looking for wealth and start claiming it, you move into a state of knowing. This is where real power lies. You no longer ask, where is it? Because you understand that it is already here. You no longer doubt or worry because you have assumed the reality of your desire. And because you assume it, it must become your experience. Think of the difference between someone begging for something and someone who knows it is already theirs. The beggar is filled with doubt, fear, and insecurity. They are trying to convince the world to give them what they want. But the one who claims their desire stands firm in their belief. They do not need to beg, chase, or force anything. They know that what they desire is already theirs, and they move through life with ease and confidence. This is how you must approach wealth. Stop looking for it. Stop checking for signs. Stop asking when it will come. Instead, claim it now. Assume the role of a person who already has everything they desire. Walk with certainty. Speak with assurance. Make decisions from the mindset of abundance rather than lack. It does not matter what your current reality looks like. The only thing that matters is what you accept as true within yourself. If you persist in the assumption of wealth, the world has no choice but to conform. You will be guided to the right opportunities. People and circumstances will shift in your favor. But none of this will happen if you continue to search, hope, and wait. The time to claim your wealth is now, not when you see signs of it, not when circumstances change, not when you feel more ready. Now, the moment you make that decision, everything begins to move in your favor. Your reality is not something outside of you, it is a direct reflection of your inner world. The sooner you claim your wealth within, the sooner it will materialize effortlessly in your life. Gratitude is the seal that confirms your manifestation. When you give thanks in advance, you declare to yourself and the universe that what you desire is already yours. You are no longer waiting, no longer doubting, no longer questioning when or how it will come. Instead, you are acknowledging its presence in your life even before your physical senses confirm it. This is the highest form of faith, and it is the key to allowing your desire to materialize effortlessly. Most people express gratitude only after they receive something. They see a change in their reality and then they say thank you. But this is a reactive form of gratitude. It is gratitude based on proof, on physical evidence. While there is nothing wrong with being thankful for what you can see and touch, true creative power comes from gratitude given before the manifestation appears. This proactive gratitude is not based on what your eyes see, but on what your inner world knows to be true. Imagine a person who desires wealth. They might say, I will be grateful when I have money in my bank account, when I am free from financial worries, when my success is evident. But this mindset keeps them in a state of waiting. It places their power outside of them, dependent on external circumstances. They are unknowingly reinforcing the belief that they do not yet have what they want, and as long as they hold this belief, their reality will continue to reflect lack. Now imagine another person who understands the power of gratitude in advance. Every day they give thanks for their wealth, even if their bank account has not yet changed. They move through life as though they are already financially free. They speak and think from a place of abundance, not from a place of hoping or wishing. This person does not ask, when will it happen? Because they know it is already done. They do not look for proof, they are the proof. Their gratitude is unwavering, and because of this, their reality must shift to match their inner conviction. Gratitude is the ultimate act of acceptance. When you give thanks, you are confirming that you have already received. It is the final step in the manifestation process, the energetic signature that tells the universe, I know this is mine. And when you truly know something is yours, there is no resistance, no effort, no doubt. It simply unfolds naturally. Consider how you feel when you receive a gift from someone. The moment they hand it to you, you say thank you. You do not ask them if they are sure, you do not question whether you deserve it, and you do not hesitate to receive it. You simply accept it with gratitude. This is the same energy you must bring to your manifestations. The moment you desire something, it has already been given to you in the unseen realm. Your only job is to accept it with gratitude, knowing it will appear in the physical world in perfect timing. Many people struggle with faith because they feel they need evidence before they can believe. But gratitude in advance is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the evidence of things not yet visible. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. You shift from hoping to knowing, from wanting to having. And when you maintain this inner state, reality must bend to match it. This is why some people seem to attract wealth, success, and love effortlessly. They do not wait for proof before they believe first. They do not chase after their desires, they assume them. And most importantly, they do not forget to give thanks before their manifestations arrive. They understand that gratitude is not just a feeling but a force, a powerful declaration that what they seek is already theirs. If you want to manifest wealth, begin giving thanks for it now. Do not wait until you see more money in your account. Do not wait until circumstances change. Wake up every morning and say, "Thank you for my financial freedom. Thank you for the wealth flowing into my life. Thank you for the opportunities, the abundance, the prosperity that is already mine." Feel the gratitude deeply, as though you are thanking someone who just handed you a fortune. The more real it feels to you, the faster it will appear. This applies to all areas of life. If you desire love, give thanks for the deep and fulfilling relationship that is already yours. If you desire success, give thanks for the achievements and recognition that are already unfolding. If you desire health, give thanks for your body's perfect state of vitality and strength. Gratitude in advance is the secret that turns desires into reality. When you live in a state of gratitude, you radiate confidence, assurance, and peace. You are no longer searching or doubting because you know that what you desire is already done. And because you hold this unwavering belief, the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Gratitude seals the manifestation. It is the final step, the confirmation, the closing statement that leaves no room for doubt. It is the ultimate act of faith, and those who practice it will see miracles unfold in their lives. The idea of lack is an illusion, a falsehood that exists only in the minds of those who accept it as real. Scarcity is not a fact of existence, but a belief, a deeply ingrained assumption that clouds perception and keeps people trapped in limitation. In truth, wealth is ever present, waiting to be claimed by those who have the vision to see it. The world constantly reinforces the idea that resources are limited, that money is difficult to attain, that only a select few can experience abundance. This is the narrative that has been passed down through generations, shaping the way people think about prosperity. But this belief is not an absolute truth. It is merely a perspective, one that can be changed the moment you decide to see reality differently. Wealth is not something outside of you that must be pursued or acquired. It is a state of being, a consciousness that you must embody. When you look at the world through the lens of lack, you will find evidence to support that belief everywhere you turn. You will see bills piling up, opportunities slipping away, and struggles increasing. But when you shift your perception, when you choose to see the abundance that is already present, you begin to experience reality in a completely different way. Consider the air you breathe. Do you ever fear that there won't be enough oxygen for you? Do you wake up each morning wondering whether you'll be able to inhale your next breath? Of course not. You trust that the air is always there, available to you in infinite supply. This is the same way you must begin to think about wealth. It is always here, always available, always flowing, but only to those who are willing to receive it. Doubt is the only thing that stands in the way of abundance. The moment you question whether you can have something, you create resistance. You separate yourself from the very thing you desire by assuming it is not yet yours. But in reality, wealth has never been outside of your reach. It is not given to you by chance or luck. It responds to your inner state, to the way you see yourself in relation to it. A person who believes in lack will always find themselves struggling. They will look at their bank account with worry. They will hesitate before spending money. They will feel anxious about their financial future. And because their inner world is dominated by these thoughts, their outer world must reflect them. They do not attract wealth, not because it is unavailable, but because they have not positioned themselves to receive it. On the other hand, a person who sees wealth as inevitable, as something that is always flowing toward them, will experience a completely different reality. They will walk with confidence, knowing that money is always arriving in expected and unexpected ways. They will spend freely without fear because they trust that there is always more. They will pursue opportunities with certainty, knowing that success is their natural state, and because they live in this mindset, their outer world must shift to reflect their inner belief. The illusion of lack is powerful only to those who accept it as real. But once you recognize it as a falsehood, it loses all control over you. You begin to see abundance in everything, in the endless possibilities around you, in the flow of money and resources, in the infinite potential within yourself. If you wish to experience wealth, you must first remove the barriers you have built in your own mind. Stop telling yourself that money is scarce. Stop believing that success is reserved for others. Stop reinforcing the idea that you must struggle to survive. Instead, train yourself to see the limitless nature of reality. Look around you. Notice the abundance that already exists. See the businesses thriving, the people achieving their dreams, the flow of transactions happening every second. Wealth is not disappearing. It is simply moving from one place to another, constantly circulating. Your only job is to align yourself with it, to step into the mindset of someone who naturally attracts abundance rather than repels it. Every time you catch yourself thinking from a place of lack, shift your perspective. Replace thoughts of limitation with thoughts of plenty. When you feel fear around money, remind yourself that wealth is ever present. When you feel doubt, reaffirm that prosperity is your birthright. The more you embody this truth, the more you will begin to see it reflected in your life. There is no need to chase wealth, to struggle for it, or to beg for it. It is already yours the moment you accept it. The illusion of lack disappears the instant you stop believing in it. And when you finally see through the falsehood of scarcity, you will realize that you were never without abundance. It was simply waiting for you to claim it. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Feel the stillness around you. You do not need to beg, chase, or struggle. Wealth is already yours. Right now, in this moment, you are the one holding the winning ticket. It has been placed in your hands and the numbers match perfectly. Your breath quickens. Your heart races with excitement. You know what this means. You have stepped into a new life. Effortlessly. You don't need to figure out how it happens. You do not need to move a muscle. You are simply receiving what is already yours. Listen within. Do you hear the sound of your own voice celebrating? Do you feel the weight of the check in your hands? Do you sense the rush of emotions as you realize your entire world has changed? This moment is real. It is already unfolding in unseen ways. You are not creating it. You are aligning with it. You are not forcing it. You are accepting it. And allow yourself to step beyond the limits of what you have been taught. You do not need to wish for a thing, nor do you need to struggle or plead. Wishing implies separation. Hoping acknowledges doubt. Trying hard only reinforces the idea that what you desire is not yet yours, but assumption, pure, unwavering assumption, has the power to override all barriers. It is the bridge between where you stand and where you desire to be. Most people believe that effort is required to achieve anything in life. They have been conditioned to think that only through struggle and persistence can they attain what they seek. But this is not so. The world you see, the life you experience, is simply a reflection of what you have accepted as true. You are not moving toward your desires. Your desires are drawn to you in accordance with your state of being. The moment you assume something is already done, the world has no choice but to arrange itself to reflect that assumption. The assumption is not merely thinking positively. It is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is a deep inner knowing that what you have imagined is not coming to you. It already is. Right now, in this moment, the version of you who has already received everything you desire exists. Your role is not to create, but to align. You do not need to force circumstances to change. You simply need to occupy the state of having. Take a moment and imagine yourself as the one who has won. What does it feel like to hold that winning ticket? To see the numbers match perfectly? To feel the weight of the check in your hands, knowing that your life has changed forever? Feel the excitement surge through your body. Hear the sound of your own voice as you celebrate, as you call those you love, as you breathe in this new reality. Do not analyze how it happened. Just rest in the certainty that it has. Notice what happens within you. Perhaps a voice arises whispering, "But how?" Or maybe a wave of doubt surfaces, reminding you of the odds, of the impossibility, of the logic that governs the world. This is where most fail, not because their desires are out of reach, but because they allow these doubts to override their assumption. The mind, conditioned by years of limitation, seeks evidence before belief, but the law is not belief follows evidence. The law is that evidence follows belief. You must remain steadfast. When you assume, you do not waver. You do not check your surroundings to see if things are shifting. You do not entertain thoughts of failure. You rest in the feeling of already having. Just as an actor steps into a role and embodies the character fully, you must embody the state of the one who has already received. The world will respond in kind. This is not theory, it is the fundamental law of creation. Every great success, every miracle, every transformation has come not through force, but through assumption. The ones who win, who rise, who receive, are those who have already seen themselves as such before the world acknowledged it. They are not surprised when wealth arrives, when opportunity appears, when doors open effortlessly. They expected it. I ask you now, can you dare to assume? Can you close your eyes and claim it as yours without needing any proof? Can you walk, speak, and think as though you already hold the winning ticket? For if you can, if you make this assumption real within, then the outer world must bow to it. It has no choice. Let go of logic. Let go of resistance. Enter the state of already having. Walk as the one who knows, not as the one who wishes. And when you do, the world will shift beneath your feet to match the reality you have claimed. For a moment and step beyond the limits of what you have been taught. Let the outside world fade away as you enter the realm of imagination, the only place where true creation begins. What you see, what you hold in your mind with absolute conviction is not a mere fantasy. It is the blueprint of what is to come. The world you experience is not separate from your inner world. It is simply a reflection of it. Consider this. Everything that exists around you was once held in someone's imagination. The chair you sit on, the building you walk past, the technology you use, all were once intangible thoughts before they solidified into reality. The same principle applies to your own life. If you can imagine something vividly, if you can feel it is real within yourself, it must take shape in the world around you. Bring to mind a scene so real, so clear that it feels as though you are living it now. You are standing there looking down at your hands, and in them you hold a lottery ticket. But this is not just any ticket. This is the winning ticket. The numbers match perfectly. The realization dawns upon you in waves, first as a spark of disbelief, then as a rush of excitement that overtakes your entire being. Your breath catches. Your hands tremble slightly as you recheck the numbers again and again, knowing with absolute certainty that this is real. Feel the weight of that ticket in your hands. Feel the texture of the paper, the ink that marks the numbers that have changed your life forever. You can hear the sounds around you, perhaps the hum of distant voices, the rustling of papers, the faint buzz of the environment, but none of it matters, because in this moment, You have stepped into a new reality. Let that feeling expand. Let it fill every part of you. The joy, the relief, the overwhelming gratitude that wells up inside you. You know what this means. The struggle is over. The limitations of the past are gone. You have received what was always meant for you. You can see yourself sharing the news with those closest to you, their faces lighting up with happiness, their voices filled with excitement and awe. Everything feels natural, as though it was always supposed to happen this way. Hold on to that feeling. This is not pretend. This is not a mere daydream. This is creation. You are not simply imagining for the sake of entertainment. You are constructing the very foundation of your future. But here is the secret. You must not contradict this vision with doubt. The moment you say, "But how will it happen?" you begin to unravel the very reality you have set in motion. The how is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to make the experience within you so real, so complete, that the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect what you have seen. Reality does not create imagination. Imagination creates reality. The events in your life, the circumstances you encounter, are nothing more than echoes of past thoughts and assumptions. If you wish to change what appears before you, you must first change what you hold within. Think of this as planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that it is taking root, that it is developing in the unseen before it becomes visible. Your imagination works the same way. The moment you have felt the reality of your desire, you have planted the seed. Now your job is to trust. Every time doubt arises, return to the scene, live it again, breathe it in. Each time you do, you strengthen the roots of your creation, making it more and more inevitable. The mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. If you persist, it will accept your vision as truth. And when that happens, the world must follow. So do not wait for proof. Do not seek validation from the outside. Assume it, feel it, know it. And soon, what was once only a vision in your mind will stand before you solid and undeniable. The greatest obstacle between you and your desire is not the world outside. It is the doubt within. The moment you look at your circumstances and declare it's impossible, you have already accepted defeat. You have surrendered to appearances instead of recognizing your true power. But understand this. The world you see is not fixed. It is not the master of your fate. It is merely a reflection of what you hold within. If you allow doubt to take root, it will manifest in your experience. But if you can detach from doubt, if you can stand firm in the unseen, then what seems impossible must become reality. Doubt is the voice of the old self, the conditioned mind that has been trained to rely on logic and physical proof. It whispers, "Look at the odds. Look at your past failures. Look at the facts." It wants you to believe that circumstances dictate what is possible, but circumstances are nothing more than shadows cast by past beliefs. They are not permanent and they hold no true power. If you accept them as unchangeable, you will remain bound by them. But if you can rise above them, if you can ignore the logic of the world and trust in the unseen, then you will move beyond limitation. To detach from doubt, you must first recognize its nature. Doubt is nothing but fear disguised as reason. It tries to keep you safe, to keep you from disappointment. But in doing so, it also keeps you from transformation. It is a chain that binds you to your current state, making you believe that only what is reasonable is possible. But reason is limited. It is based on what has already happened, not on what can. And if you live only by reason, you will forever be trapped in repetition, experiencing the same circumstances over and over again. I ask you to do something radical. Ignore the facts. Ignore the numbers, the statistics, the opinions of others. They are irrelevant. Instead, go inward. Create within yourself the certainty that what you desire is already yours. Feel the reality of it so deeply that there is no room for doubt. Because once you know something to be true within, the world has no choice but to follow. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of stone. If he were to look at the stone and say, "This is just a rock, there is no statue here, it is impossible to change it," he would never begin. But the sculptor does not see only the stone. He sees what is hidden within it. He knows that the statue already exists inside. He simply has to remove what does not belong. Your desires are the same. The reality you seek is already present in the unseen. You only need to remove doubt and limitation to reveal it. Consider the wind. You cannot see it, but you can feel its presence. You do not question whether it exists simply because it is invisible. The unseen forces of life are just as real, just as powerful. Your belief, your assumption, your conviction, these are the unseen forces that shape the world around you. If you place more trust in what you cannot see than in what you can, you will witness miracles. But you must be steadfast. The moment you entertain doubt, you undo your work. The moment you check the outside world for proof, you slip back into the mindset of disbelief. A farmer does not dig up his seeds every day to see if they are growing. He plants them, waters them, and trusts in the process. You must do the same. Once you have assumed the reality of your desire, let it be. Do not question it. Do not wonder how it will happen. Simply know that it is done. There will be moments when logic tempts you to abandon your belief. It will urge you to be realistic. It will point to your current circumstances and say, "See, nothing has changed." But logic is not the highest power. The unseen shapes the seen, not the other way around. What appears real today is only the result of past thinking. If you persist, if you hold firm in your assumption, reality will conform to your vision. You are the creator of your experience. You are not at the mercy of chance. Nor are you limited by what seems probable. Probability is only a measure of what has happened before, not what must happen next. The moment you detach from doubt and assume the feeling of already having, the forces of the unseen begin to move. Doors open where none existed. Paths appear where there were once only walls. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. So stand firm, refuse to be shaken by circumstances, ignore the logic of the world and trust in the unseen. If you do, you will come to understand a truth that few dare to accept. Nothing is impossible except the limits you place upon yourself. And step into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled. Feel the moment as if it is happening now. The excitement courses through you. Your hands are shaking as you hold the winning ticket. The realization dawns upon you like the rising sun. It's done. There is no need to hope, no need to wish, no need to wonder. You already have it. The relief washes over you and a deep sense of gratitude fills your entire being. This is the feeling you must hold, but only for a moment. Once you have fully embraced it, once you have felt it so vividly that it becomes real to you, then you must let it go. You do not need to force anything into existence. You do not need to beg, struggle, or chase. The moment you have felt the reality of your desire within, the work is done. Your subconscious mind has already accepted it as truth, and the unseen forces of creation are now in motion. Think of it like planting a seed. When you place a seed into the soil, you do not stand over it demanding that it grow. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is sprouting. You trust that beneath the surface something is happening. You know that if you leave it alone, water it with faith, and allow nature to take its course, the seed will grow into a mighty tree. Your desires work the same way. Once you have planted them in the soil of your imagination, once you have truly felt them as real, you must release them and trust that they are unfolding in perfect order. Many people struggle because they do not let go. They feel the excitement for a moment, but then they return to doubt, questioning, and overthinking. They constantly check their circumstances, looking for proof. And in doing so, they disrupt the process. They dig up the seed before it has a chance to take root. This is why so many fail. They do not trust. They try to force things to happen instead of allowing them to unfold naturally. But creation does not happen through force, it happens through surrender. The most powerful way to manifest anything is to feel it completely and then release it with full confidence that it is already done. The moment you let go is the moment the universe takes over. The subconscious mind, which holds the true power of creation, will now begin to rearrange circumstances, people, and events to bring your desire into form. It does not need your interference. It only needs your faith. Imagine you have ordered something online. The moment you place the order, you do not keep refreshing the page, doubting whether it will arrive. You know it is on its way. You trust the process. You go about your day fully assured that what you requested is coming. This is the attitude you must adopt with your desires. Once you have felt them real, once you have placed the order in your subconscious, you must trust that they are being delivered to you in the perfect way, at the perfect time. Letting go does not mean you forget about your desire. It does not mean you stop wanting it. It means you no longer worry about how it will happen. You do not chase, you do not force, you do not beg. You simply allow. You rest in the certainty that it is already yours. This is why so many people fail to manifest. They cling too tightly. They think about their desire with desperation, constantly wondering when it will come. But desperation is the opposite of faith. When you feel desperate, you are affirming that you do not have what you want. And what you affirm within, you create in your outer world. Instead, you must feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the relief of already having. And then you must move on with your life, knowing that it is unfolding perfectly. Look at the world around you. Everything you see was once unseen. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every moment of joy someone has ever experienced began first in the unseen world of imagination. The moment it was accepted as real within, it was set in motion. The same is true for your desires. They are already moving toward you. But you must not block them with fear, doubt, or impatience. What must you do now? Nothing. Simply know. Know that it is done. Feel it deeply. Embrace it fully, and then walk away with confidence. Go about your day with the quiet assurance that the forces beyond your understanding are working on your behalf. The seed has been planted. The process is in motion. When the time is right, what you have felt will appear before you just as surely as the sun rises each morning. You do not need to push. You do not need to chase. You only need to feel, believe, and let go. And when you do, you will see with your own eyes that reality bends to the one who trusts in the unseen. And imagine yourself as the person who has already won. Not someone who is waiting, not someone who is hoping, but someone who knows without a shadow of a doubt that they are already in possession of their fortune. Feel the weight of that certainty within you. See yourself holding the winning ticket, looking at the numbers that match perfectly, knowing this moment was inevitable. There is no hesitation, no second guessing. You are not asking, will it happen? You are standing in the moment where it already has. This is the key, living in the end. You do not dwell in a mindset of one day, someday, maybe. That is the language of those who do not yet believe. You step into the version of yourself who already has what they desire, and you do not step out. You embody the reality of your wish fulfilled, not as an occasional thought, but as your permanent state of being. Look at your life right now. What do you see? Do you see lack? Do you see waiting? Do you see uncertainty? If so, it is because you are living in a reality that is separate from your desire. You are still hoping instead of knowing. But what happens when you shift? What happens when you begin to walk through life as someone who already possesses what they seek? Your mind no longer searches for confirmation because it no longer needs it. You do not check your bank account every day worrying if there is enough because you know you are wealthy. You do not wish for abundance. You carry yourself as someone who is abundant. You do not spend your days hoping for good fortune. You assume that fortune follows you wherever you go. You must think from the end, feel from the end, and act from the end. It is not enough to visualize once and then return to your old habits of thought. You must persist in the assumption that it is already done. Even when the outer world does not yet reflect it, even when circumstances appear unchanged, you do not waver. You remain steadfast in the reality you have chosen to embody. Consider an actor who steps into a role. When they perform, they are not pretending. They become the character. They adopt the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of the role they are playing. And for that time, they are that person. This is what you must do. You must step into the role of the person who already has what they seek. And the longer you stay in that state, the more your outer world will conform to match it. Doubt will try to creep in. The logical mind will argue that nothing has changed. The world will tell you to be realistic. But reality is not fixed. It is shaped by the assumptions you hold. If you continue to live in the old version of yourself, the one who is still waiting, still wondering, still hoping, you will remain stuck in that loop. But the moment you fully assume your new identity, the moment you truly feel the relief of already having, your world begins to shift. Imagine waking up tomorrow and knowing without a doubt that your fortune is already yours. How would you feel? Would you be anxious? Would you be desperate? No. You would move through your day with ease, with certainty, with a quiet confidence that does not seek validation because it already knows. You would not talk about your dreams as though they are distant. You would speak from the reality of them already being fulfilled. That is the secret. When you live in the end, you bypass the waiting. You step beyond time itself and claim what is already yours in the unseen. And once you claim it within, the outer world has no choice but to conform. So do not wait. Do not entertain thoughts of one day or maybe. Do not speak of your desires as something you hope will happen. Speak as though they already have. Feel as though they are already yours. Carry yourself as the person who no longer wonders, but knows. Your reality will shape itself around you. The world does not dictate what you receive, you do. And when you assume the feeling of already having, when you truly live in the end, you will watch as what was once only a vision becomes the undeniable truth of your life. There is an immense power in silence. What you hold within, protected from the doubts and opinions of others, gains strength. The moment you begin to speak of your desires to those who do not understand, you risk diluting their energy. Every doubt, every skeptical glance, every question of how and when chips away at the certainty you are cultivating. And certainty, absolute knowing, is the force that brings your desires into reality. When you share your vision with those who cannot see what you see, they project their own limitations onto you. They ask, "Are you sure? How will that happen? What if it doesn't work?" These words may seem harmless, but they plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Even if you do not consciously accept them, they linger beneath the surface, weakening your faith. You do not need validation. You do not need permission. The only thing required is your unwavering belief in what you have chosen to manifest. And belief is strengthened in stillness. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It does not need to be pulled up every day to check if it is growing. It does not need to be explained to others in order to take root. It simply requires time, nourishment, and the right environment. Your desires work the same way. They need quiet. They need protection from the harsh winds of doubt and skepticism. The more you speak of them to others, the more you expose them to opinions that may shake your faith. The world does not need to know your plans. It does not need to understand what you are creating in the unseen. What you nurture in the silence of your own mind will grow into undeniable reality. There is no need to prove anything to anyone. When the time is right, the results will speak for themselves. Many people have learned this lesson the hard way. They excitedly share their desires with friends, family, or colleagues, only to be met with skepticism. That's unrealistic. That's impossible. Do you really think you can do that? Even when these words are said with good intentions, they create resistance. They make you second guess yourself. But when you remain silent, no one can interfere. No one can inject doubt into something they do not know exists. Your desire remains pure, untouched by the limitations of others. And in this protected state, it grows stronger, becoming more real with each passing day. There is another reason why silence is so powerful. When you speak too soon, you release energy that should be directed inward. Every time you talk about your desire before it has fully materialized, you dissipate some of its force. You scatter the energy that should be used to deepen your belief and strengthen your assumption. Have you ever noticed that the more people talk about something they intend to do, the less likely they are to actually do it? This is because talking gives them a false sense of accomplishment. They feel as though they have already taken action, and so the urgency to bring it into reality weakens. But when you keep your desire to yourself, it remains concentrated. The energy stays within, intensifying rather than dispersing. It is not secrecy out of fear, it is protection out of wisdom. You are not hiding because you doubt. You are remaining silent because you know. You do not need external validation. You do not need agreement from others. You walk with quiet confidence, knowing that what you have declared within must become true in the world around you. This is the way of those who understand the deeper laws of creation. They do not announce their intentions. They do not seek approval. They move in silence, shaping reality from within. And then, when their vision has fully materialized, they let the world see the results. By then, there is no need to explain, no need to justify. The proof is undeniable. You must learn to do the same. If you have a desire, hold it close. Let it grow in the stillness of your mind. Nurture it with belief, strengthen it with conviction, and shield it from the doubts of those who cannot see what you see. The greatest things are created in silence. The most powerful manifestations happen without announcement, without external validation, without the need for others to believe. Because when you truly know, when you have assumed the feeling of already having, you do not need to convince anyone. Silence is power. It is the space where dreams take form. It is the protection that allows your desire to grow unhindered. It is the energy that ensures what you hold within becomes what you experience without. So do not speak of your desires before their time. Keep your vision sacred. Guard it fiercely. Let the world see only the outcome, never the process. And when your reality shifts, when what you once imagined stands before you as undeniable truth, you will understand the power of silence. All that you seek is already within you. The moment you assume it, the moment you see it vividly in your imagination and let go of doubt, the unseen begins to shape the scene. You do not need to chase, struggle, or convince anyone. Reality bends to the one who dares to believe in their own inner power. Detach from doubt, feel the joy of having, and then release it with unwavering faith. Live in the end, knowing it is done, and move in silence, protecting your vision from those who do not understand. The universe does not respond to effort, it responds to certainty. When you know it is yours, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. Trust in the process, remain still in your faith, and watch as your desire unfolds effortlessly before you. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment and listen, not to the world outside, but to the whispers of your own imagination. For the power that moves the universe is not outside of you. It is within you. You have been told that things take time, that you must work hard, strive, and chase after your desires. But I tell you now, time is but an illusion, a concept formed by those who do not understand the creative force within. What you desire already exists, waiting for you to claim it. Tonight, before you sleep, step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let it be as real to you as the air you breathe. If you desire wealth, feel the weight of abundance in your hands. If love is what you seek, imagine the warmth of your beloved beside you. Feel it so deeply that your subconscious has no choice but to accept it as reality. As you move through your day, do not waver. The world may not yet reflect your assumption, but do not be deceived by appearances. Hold steadfast to your inner conviction. If doubt creeps in, silence it with the knowing that what you have assumed must come to pass. On the third day, let go. You have sown the seed. Do not dig it up to see if it is growing. Walk as if your manifestation is done, and the unseen forces of creation will do the rest. What you desire must come to you, for it is law. Do not ask how, do not question when. Simply be in the state of already having it and watch as reality bends to your will. What you seek is already seeking you. 3 days, that is all it takes. Your reality is not separate from you, it is not something happening to you, rather it is something unfolding through you. Every event, every person you encounter, and every circumstance in your life is a direct reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you hold within. If you wish to change your world, you must first change yourself. Most people believe that the outer world is fixed, that it operates independently of their thoughts and emotions. They see themselves as mere observers, reacting to what life presents them. But the truth is, your world is nothing more than a mirror, constantly reflecting back to you the state of your mind. This is why two people can experience the same situation and yet perceive it entirely differently. One sees opportunity where another sees failure. One experiences love while another feels rejection. The difference is not in the world itself, but in the consciousness of the observer. If you walk through life feeling unworthy, the world will reflect back situations that confirm this belief. You will encounter rejection, lack, and struggle, not because life is unfair, but because that is the reality your inner world is projecting. The moment you shift your inner state to one of worthiness, the world must respond in kind. It cannot do otherwise. Consider a man who constantly believes he is unlucky. He speaks of it, expects it, and sees misfortune in every event. Even when good opportunities arise, his mind finds a way to dismiss or sabotage them. His assumption of bad luck becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if this man were to change his inner belief and truly accept that he is fortunate, life would begin to align with that assumption. He would start noticing opportunities, meeting the right people, and experiencing a shift in circumstances. Nothing outside of him changed first, only his state of being. Your dominant thoughts and feelings shape your experiences. If you wake up every morning expecting struggle, that expectation forms the lens through which you view the world. You will interpret events in ways that confirm your belief. But if you rise with an unshakable knowing that all things are working in your favor, you will start to see evidence of this everywhere. The world does not shape you, you shape the world. To transform your life, you must first become aware of the assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. Are you operating from a place of fear, scarcity, and limitation? Or do you truly believe in abundance, love, and ease? Your experience will always align with the answer. If you desire more wealth, yet deep inside you believe money is hard to come by, the world will continuously show you evidence of lack. But the moment you adopt the feeling of already having abundance, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances will emerge to reflect that belief. Changing your outer world does not require force, struggle, or manipulation. It requires inner alignment. Instead of chasing what you want, embody the state of already having it. Feel the joy, confidence, and security as if your desires are already fulfilled. The external world must then rearrange itself to match your new inner state. Look at your life as it is today. Every aspect, from your relationships to your finances, is a perfect reflection of what you have accepted as true within. If there is an area you wish to change, do not fight the outside, shift the inside. Speak only of what you desire, think only from the state of already having it, and allow the outer world to mirror your transformation. Your world is a projection of your mind. Change your mind and you would change everything. The key to bringing any desire into reality lies not in struggle, effort, or external actions, but in the ability to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is not about hoping, wishing, or waiting for something to happen. It is about entering the state where it already exists. The moment you accept something as true within yourself, the world must reflect that truth back to you. Most people make the mistake of looking to the outside world for confirmation before they allow themselves to feel the emotions of having their desire. They say, I will feel happy when I have the money, or I will feel secure when I find love. But by doing this, they place themselves in a state of lack, constantly reinforcing the idea that what they want is separate from them. Instead, the secret is to shift your inner state first, to feel the joy, gratitude, and certainty of already having your desire before any physical evidence appears. Imagine for a moment that what you want has already manifested. How would you feel? What would your daily life look like? How would you carry yourself, speak, and think? Embody that version of yourself now in this very moment, and you will set into motion the unseen forces that bring your assumption into reality. This is not pretending or forcing. It is a deep inner conviction that what you seek is already yours. A person who desires wealth but constantly thinks from a state of lack will continue to experience financial struggle. They may work harder, take more action, or seek external solutions, yet the results will always align with their inner state of scarcity. But if that same person shifts their consciousness and begins to truly feel abundant, if they move through the world with the confidence and ease of someone who already has financial freedom, then the world must respond accordingly. Opportunities will arise, ideas will flow, and circumstances will shift to match their new inner reality. This applies to all things, whether love, success, health, or happiness. A person longing for love but feeling lonely will attract more loneliness. But when they assume the feeling of already being deeply loved and cherished, they become magnetic to love in all forms. They no longer seek or chase. Instead, they radiate the energy of love, and the world reflects it back to them effortlessly. Many doubt this principle because they believe they must first see evidence before they can believe. But all things in life first existed as unseen thoughts, beliefs, and imaginations before they became tangible reality. The house you live in was first an idea in someone's mind. The phone you use, the car you drive, everything began as an assumption before it took physical form. Your desires are no different. You are always manifesting, whether consciously or unconsciously. Your life right now is the result of past assumptions you have held about yourself and the world. If you want to create something new, you must begin by assuming it is already done. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the excitement, as if your wish has been fulfilled. Let that feeling become your dominant state, and the world must bend to accommodate your assumption. Do not look for signs. Do not ask when or how it will happen. Simply know that it is already yours. The moment you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, reality begins to shift. Things may change in ways you do not expect, but they will always align with your inner conviction. Walk in faith, persist in your assumption, and watch as the world rearranges itself to reflect what you have already accepted as true within. Time is an illusion. The past is but a memory, the future only a projection of the mind. All that truly exists is this present moment, and within it everything you seek is already here. The idea of waiting for something to happen, for conditions to change, or for some future event to bring fulfillment is a misunderstanding of reality. You do not need to wait. What you desire exists now, but it requires you to align with it in this moment. Most people live in a constant state of waiting. They wait for success, for love, for happiness, believing these things exist somewhere ahead in time. They place their desires in the future, always just out of reach. But time is not a linear path leading you to your dreams. It is a construct of the mind. The only thing real is now, and everything you could ever want is already present in the field of possibilities. Your job is not to wait for it, but to assume it is true now. When you say, "I am waiting for my desire to manifest," you affirm its absence. You create a mental distance between yourself and what you want. But manifestation does not work through waiting. It works through being. You must become the person who already has what they seek. You must feel, think, and act as if your desire is already a present reality. When you do this, you collapse the illusion of time and allow your desire to take form in the physical world. Consider someone who longs for love but believes they must wait for the right person to appear. They carry a sense of lack, of incompleteness, always looking toward a future where love will arrive. But love is not something external. It is a state of being. The moment they embody the feeling of being loved, cherished, and valued, they shift their reality. They no longer wait for love, they become love. And when that shift happens internally, the external world must reflect it. The same applies to wealth. Many believe they will be wealthy someday, but by placing wealth in the future, they keep it there indefinitely. If they instead assume the feeling of financial abundance now, if they walk, think, and act as though they already have it, the world will begin to move in ways that align with that belief. Their perception changes, their opportunities expand, and they naturally attract the conditions that mirror their inner state. Nothing is truly coming to you because it already exists. What you desire is here, now, waiting for you to claim it. The reason you do not see it yet is that you are looking at reality through the filter of time. You believe it must take weeks, months, or years, but this is only a belief, one that can be released in an instant. The moment you step into the certainty that it is already yours, the illusion of waiting disappears. If you want to experience something different in your life, do not place it in the future. Instead, bring it into your present. Close your eyes and feel the reality of your desire as if it were unfolding now. Let the emotions, the sensations, and the experience of it become real in your mind. Do this consistently, and you will begin to see it reflected back to you. The universe does not operate on time, it operates on alignment. You do not receive what you wait for, you receive what you are. If you wish to manifest something, stop waiting and start being. Live in the knowing that it is already here, and the world will adjust to reflect that truth. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It does not judge, it does not question, it simply accepts and acts upon whatever you impress upon it. Every thought you consistently dwell upon, every emotion you entertain, becomes a command that your subconscious takes as truth. Whether you realize it or not, you are always in a state of creation, shaping your reality through the beliefs you hold in your inner world. Most people live unconsciously, allowing their thoughts to be influenced by external conditions. They react to circumstances, complain about what is lacking, and dwell on fears and doubts. Without realizing it, they are feeding these very patterns into their subconscious, reinforcing the same experiences they wish to escape. But the moment you take control of your inner dialogue, you begin to take control of your life. If you desire wealth, but your dominant thoughts are about struggle and lack, your subconscious mind will continue to manifest circumstances that align with those thoughts. If you long for love, but constantly affirm loneliness, you will find yourself experiencing more of the same. This is why it is crucial to train your mind to persist in the belief that what you desire is already yours. The subconscious mind does not respond to fleeting wishes. It responds to deeply held assumptions. Begin by becoming aware of the thoughts that dominate your mind. What do you tell yourself daily? Do your inner conversations align with abundance, success, and fulfillment? Or do they reinforce struggle and limitation? The key to transformation is repetition. Your subconscious accepts what you impress upon it through constant mental and emotional practice. The most effective way to reprogram your subconscious is through the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your emotions act as a signal, amplifying whatever you hold in your consciousness. If you can generate the feeling of already having what you desire, if you can embody the state of fulfillment, your subconscious will assume it to be true. And once a belief is planted deeply enough, the outer world must conform to match it. This is why visualization is so powerful. When you close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of what you desire, when you feel the joy, the relief, and the certainty of it, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as reality. It does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It simply follows the strongest impressions you give it. Affirmations too are a tool to recondition the mind. Repeating statements such as, "I am wealthy," "I am loved," or "I am successful," with conviction and belief imprints these truths upon your subconscious. But mere words are not enough. You must feel the reality of what you affirm. It is the emotion behind the statement that makes it effective. You must persist. The subconscious mind does not operate on instant results. It operates on consistency. Many people give up too soon, allowing old patterns of doubt and fear to resurface. But those who persist, those who hold unwavering faith in the unseen, inevitably see their desires take form. There is no need to force or struggle. Your only task is to remain faithful to the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. When negative thoughts arise, do not fight them. Simply replace them with new, empowering beliefs. Redirect your focus again and again until the new assumption becomes dominant. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always shaping your world according to your inner convictions. Train it to accept only that which serves you. Live in the end, think from the place of already having, and soon you will witness your outer world shift to reflect the reality you have claimed within. When you desire something, your first instinct is often to figure out how it will come to you. Your mind begins searching for logical steps, calculating possibilities, and analyzing the path ahead. But this is where most people hinder their own manifestations, by obsessing over the how instead of focusing on the end result. The truth is, the way your manifestation unfolds is not your concern. The moment you surrender control over the process, you allow unseen forces to work in your favor. There is an intelligence far greater than your conscious mind that orchestrates all things effortlessly. This intelligence does not require your interference, it only requires your faith. Most people struggle with manifestation because they believe they must force things to happen. They set their desires and immediately begin questioning, how will it come? Where will the opportunity arise? What actions should I take? This mindset is rooted in doubt. When you focus on the how, you are in essence declaring that you do not trust the universe to bring it to you. You are trying to control something that is not yours to control. Manifestation does not require struggle, it requires surrender. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that nature will do its work, that the sun, the water, and the earth will nourish it in ways you cannot see. The same is true for your desires. The moment you set your intention, the forces of creation begin to arrange the circumstances necessary for its fulfillment. But if you constantly interfere, questioning and doubting, you disrupt the process. Your only responsibility is to hold the vision of the end result. See yourself already in possession of what you desire. Feel it as if it were already yours. Walk, talk, and think from the perspective of the one who has already received it. The more you dwell in this state, the faster reality will rearrange itself to match your inner world. Many people hesitate to trust this process because they believe they must take massive action to achieve their goals. But action should never come from a place of desperation or control. Inspired action flows naturally when you are aligned with your desire. It is effortless, not forced. When you focus on the end result, you will feel nudged in the right direction at the right time. A thought, an idea, or an opportunity will present itself in ways you could not have predicted. Consider those who have achieved great success. Rarely do they know exactly how their journey will unfold. They simply hold a vision so strong that everything else bends to align with it. They trust that the right people, the right situations, and the right opportunities will appear when needed. And they always do. Let go of your need to control the process. Stop micromanaging the universe. When you detach from the how, you shift from resistance to receptivity. You allow the unseen forces to arrange things in ways far beyond your imagination. Your job is to believe, to know, and to persist in the assumption that it is already done. The moment you let go, life begins to flow effortlessly. Doors you never expected open. Events align in perfect timing. What once seemed impossible suddenly becomes inevitable. But this only happens when you release the need to control every step and trust that it is already yours. Detach, surrender, live in the end, and watch how reality transforms before your eyes. To manifest your desires, you must live as if they are already done. This is the key that separates those who wish from those who receive. The world around you is not fixed. It is a fluid reflection of your inner assumptions. If you persist in the conviction that your desire is already yours, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Most people live in reaction to their circumstances. They wait for evidence before they believe, allowing the external world to dictate their emotions and state of being. But this approach keeps them trapped, reinforcing the very reality they wish to escape. If you want to create something new, you must reverse this process. You must believe first, without any proof, and let the world catch up to your conviction. How do you do this? By speaking, acting, and feeling as though your wish has already come to pass. This does not mean pretending or forcing anything. It means embodying the state of already having. If you desire financial abundance, do not speak of lack. Do not think, feel, or act like someone who is struggling. Instead, carry yourself with the confidence of one who is already wealthy. Your thoughts, words, and emotions should align with the reality you wish to experience. Feelings are the secret. You cannot fool the subconscious mind with empty words. If you say, "I am wealthy," but deep down you feel fearful and doubtful, your subconscious will respond to the feeling, not the words. But if you generate the feeling of already having what you desire, if you allow yourself to experience the gratitude, relief, and joy of its fulfillment, your subconscious will accept this as reality. And once it does, your outer world must shift to match. Your imagination is your greatest tool. Close your eyes and see yourself already living the life you desire. How does it feel? How do you move, speak, and carry yourself in this reality? Immerse yourself in the scene until it feels real. The more vividly you imagine it, the more natural it becomes. Soon it will no longer feel like a distant dream. It will feel like the truth. And once it feels real within, it must become real without. Many people struggle with this because they allow the present circumstances to dictate their state of mind. They say, "I will believe it when I see it." But manifestation does not work that way. You must see it within before you can see it without. You must believe it is done even when there is no sign of it in the physical world. This is the true test of faith. Your daily actions should reflect the reality you have assumed. If you are already the person you desire to be, how would you think? How would you speak? How would you interact with others? Begin living from this state now. When you walk, walk with the confidence of one who already has it. When you speak, let your words affirm the truth of your desire. When you think, think only from the end result. Doubt is the only thing that delays your manifestation. The moment you question, worry, or wonder when it will happen, you are stepping out of the state of fulfillment and into the state of lack. Do not entertain thoughts of how or when. Simply remain in the conviction that it is done. When you persist in this assumption, reality must adjust to reflect it. The world does not create your beliefs create the world. You do not have to fight, chase, or struggle. You simply have to be. Be the person who already has what you seek. Live, breathe, and think from that state, and soon the outer world will mirror your inner certainty. Everything you desire is already within you, waiting to be expressed in the world around you. Your reality is not separate from your thoughts and beliefs. It is a direct reflection of them. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live as though it is already done, the unseen forces begin to move in your favor. The outer world has no choice but to conform to the conviction you hold within. There is no need to force, struggle, or chase. Simply trust. Trust that the present moment holds all that you seek. Trust that your subconscious mind is always listening, shaping your world according to your dominant thoughts. Trust that time is an illusion, and what you desire is already yours in the now. Let go of the need to control how it happens. Detach from the how and focus only on the end result.